What's up, everyone? We're back with episode 3, aka level 2 Crow's Nest, on our legendary Halo 3 melee only playthrough. I picked up a gun because I have to, not because I wanted to. I fast forward through some boring walking into our first enemy encounter of the level. I just kind of bum rush these grunts and just punch them and just see what happens. Instantly get shot, so I have to go back into hiding in my little man cave here, let the Marines take some shots on. They actually do decently by throwing a lot of grenades. That guy lost his helmet. Big loss. Narrowly escaped that grenade, hide behind this truck for 2 to 3 minutes. We're going to cut ahead here. Poor grunt. These grenades are actually really helpful. I only have a few more enemies to go after. Take out this jackal. Lose my shield yet again. Hide. This whole level is basically just punching 1 or 2 enemies and hiding. I'm just trying to include my first attempt in each area. Unfortunately, my first attempt here was very slow, so I'd like to apologize in advance for that. Eventually, hope you guys enjoyed my first death in the game and my first almost death in real life as I choked on the leftover pretzel in my throat. Sorry I had to include that clip. Anyway, we're back in this area again, just punching grunts left and right, popping off their backs. I realize that may sound sexually charged. It's really not. Their backs literally fall off when you punch them. Also, the more observant of you may have noticed that during my pretzel choking incident, a death counter popped up in the top left. I wanted to include that in the last level, but I died too many times to count. This one was a little bit more manageable, so every single time I die, this death counter will increase. Will I include every death in this level? Probably not, so enjoy watching that number dramatically climb as you watch the rest of this. But I'm basically just using these shipping containers as cover and taking out the jackals very slowly because Master Chief apparently can't punch them effectively with a pistol in his hand, so he uses the Marines and their grenades as distractions. I don't know what I was doing there. I just let the plasma pistol take off all my shield. It's okay, I learned my lesson. Nope. I got really lucky here, honestly, that the grunt missed all those shots and the brute didn't feel like shooting me. Eventually I felt kind of cornered, heard a bubble shield, and just ran for it. Took out the grunt. Let the brute try and slap me. Got him in the back. And I kind of panicked here. I should have taken those 2 grunts out, but I thought if I just run past where I'm supposed to go and hide, I could guarantee a checkpoint. It didn't happen, and I didn't want to waste the bubble shield over there. Saw the jackals run in the room. And I used this truck as cover and let the Marines distract the grunts a little bit, and I couldn't get past that truck at all, so I had to go awkwardly around. Took out 1 grunt, took out 2, took out 3, and all the enemies here were clear. Still with no checkpoint, I decided to just poke my head in and see how it looked. It did not look good, so I quickly retreated and was hoping for a checkpoint. Still didn't get one, but I have the brute shot now, and the grunts decided to just rush me. Made it a little bit easier. Those carbines at the end of the tunnel are deadly, so the second my shields got low, I decided to go back and be safe because I did not want to go all the way back to the beginning again. Took out the running grunt, hid, and this next couple moments are a little bit embarrassing. I keep poking my head out, getting shot, switching the side, poking my head out, eventually getting shot, turning around. And I didn't really have a good plan for this area. Every single legendary or lasso run I've done, you just shoot the jackals at the end with a headshot. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to run for it. What's the worst that can happen? Turns out you can get shot a lot, but I used this pillar as a little barrier and was just hoping they wouldn't peek around it, which I don't know why they didn't, but it let me take out 1 jackal, and I was able to now have a wall, take out a second jackal, and slowly make my way towards them while kind of getting their numbers down. Waited for my shield to come back, took out 1 more jackal, and then I saw what I thought was only 1 jackal and quickly realized it was 3. Got really lucky not to die there, but now I knew there was only 2 left, and once my shields would come back that I would have a pretty good chance to take them out. There's 1. Made sure I got that guy. You saw that first whiff. And here we are in the next area. Got our, second checkpoint of the level, pretty far in. That jackal just gave up. That grunt waved. Everyone's scared of me. They know what's coming. I beat the first level. They can't stop me. And again, I had no real strategy here, but everything I was doing seemed to be working, so I was just taking out enemies 1 by 1 until I decided to walk right over that grenade, increase that death counter to 2. Now, compared to Sierra 117, this level is going a lot more smoothly, but the actual gameplay is taking longer because there's so many more enemies to take out. So I think that this video might be split into two, like the first level, not because I'm inadequate like I was before, but because it just takes so much time to show me taking out every enemy in every area. I don't want to just cut it and miss the whole point of meleeing everybody. So during this next entertaining segment, my beautiful wife is going to commentate a little bit and entertain you guys, hopefully.
Hey everyone, it's the Pants. Get ready for a little bit quieter of speech. I won't be yelling in your ears like someone. Okay, so he is shooting people. I know there's grunts and what's the other one called? Broods. No, Groot.
Brutes.
Brutes. Groot. Okay, well that is Groot and he just got hit. Oh wow, pummeled him. We're looking for enemies. We can't find any. We're not in the action apparently. Ooh, a giant soccer ball. Hit him right in the butt. Fireworks. And this concludes the Foster Pants commentary. Foster Pants out.
And I'm taking back control. Surprisingly, we're still in the same hangar here. Really, all you can do on a melee-only playthrough is seize your opportunities. So I wait for this Brood and this bubble shield to throw a grenade and melee him, and then the screaming and running grunts are pretty easy to mop up after. I included this clip of me getting a deployable cover here so you know where it comes from when I throw it here in a second. So I'm stalking this grunt that's running around here. I don't know who he's running from, but it's not me because I missed my first shot. Get him on the second. Sorry, first melee. Don't want to imply I'm shooting. Take out this brute, but not before he punches me and almost kills me because I decided to throw my deployable cover there. Take out the final grunt and I get my shield back, and at this point I haven't died in a while, but I also haven't gotten a checkpoint. So I'm trying to play this really cautiously and smart, which is not how I usually play video games or go about life in any manner.
A note from the Pants. He says this, but he won't let me impulsively buy a king-size bed.
So for the remainder of this hangar area part of the mission, I basically spend all my time down here wondering why grates don't let me punch through them. But basically all I'm doing is poking my head out whenever I have a chance, take out one enemy and go back in. Sometimes I get overconfident and there's a second brute to get me. But overall it was a pretty effective strategy, especially with the Marines behind me throwing grenades and shooting, slowly wiping out grunts and the shields of the brutes. I saw this bubble shield here and noticed that there was a huge opening there in the ceiling, but then I walked into this room and realized in all of my playthroughs of Halo 3, I can't remember actually stepping in here, so I was just walking around wondering if there's a secret exit or something that I'd missed over the years, but I've just never found my way down here because usually I'm shooting them from the top. And this is the moment where I realize all the enemies will tend to single file drop down that hole. At this point, with that checkpoint, I'm pretty confident I can get past this area. I just need a little bit of luck and to not be too impatient and get the enemies to jump down this hole. Every single time the brutes land, it's almost like they have a landing animation no matter the height they fall from, so it gives you an easy chance to take them out the second they land with 2 quick melee hits. I spent a few minutes just wandering around down below. I didn't really have an opportunity to take anyone out, and I definitely didn't have an opportunity here as I got brute shotted, grenaded, and needled all at the same time. But it was nice that I had that checkpoint to fall back to because I could get spawn killed right off the go. Used the deployable cover I had, and I don't know what that jackal was doing, just saw something I didn't, I guess. And you could just be aggressive here, and the less enemies you had, the easier it began. I mean, obviously, only a couple of grunts to mop up. I was hopeful if this was the last wave in this area. I thought it was. I looked in the hangar, didn't see anyone coming in. Dropped down just to be safe. The biggest thing I learned from the lasso playthroughs and this so far is you really want to have a full shield whenever possible. So I spent a lot of time wandering. That's why you saw that awkward cut there. And I could have rushed these grunts, but I just took them out one by one. So enjoy this riveting gameplay. Really thought there was a 50-50 chance I was going to get stuck by the last one, but there we go. We finished the hangar area on Crow's Nest, and I remember to go back and grab my bubble shield. Deployable cover doesn't really do anything when the brute shoots spikers that go through it. Got a checkpoint here, and this was my biggest fear of the entire level, was this drone area. I decided to just run past and ignore them and hope they didn't see me. It was proving to be a very effective strategy until 300 plasma pistol shots rained from the sky. Found this nice little box and decided to call it my home. And for the next 5 or 6 minutes, it was my home. I wanted to see if the Marines could take out any of these drones. I think they took out 2 or 3, but eventually I had to poke my head out and actually do something. The drones weren't going to die of old age. I poked my head out and threw my bubble shield and figured worst case I die and start at the beginning of this area again. Took out one whole drone in this attempt, hit a lot of air around me, so basically it was an even fight. Took out my second drone. I wasn't really doing well, but again, this was just kind of a test run. I thought that drone was swimming, it was actually dead. And I reverted back to my home and waited for the shield to come back. At a certain point, all the drones got really tired of flying and they just flew up on that wall where I couldn't reach them. I just decided to run back and see if there was another bubble shield, and these 2 Marines appeared. I'm not exactly sure from where or what they were doing this whole time instead of helping me fight, but I turned around and wanted to see if they could help me take out any of these drones. But I found out that in the short time that I was gone, and you're going to see me oblivious to the fact that I'm not getting shot here, that the drones got really tired from all their flying and became really, really sleepy. And here I am again, still taking cover, not noticing. But the drones just stopped shooting me. They all just froze on this wall here and didn't move. I don't know if this is a commonly known glitch or occurrence that I didn't know about, or if it really was a drone nap time. But the rest of the area became pretty easy. My biggest worry, I think I did activate the drones one time for some reason by standing in front of them too aggressively. Yeah, right there. I got really scared there and thought I reactivated them. I went back to my column and popped back out, and they were back fast asleep. So here's my attempts at punching them and failing over and over again. I wanted to run back and grab my deployable cover and see if I could jump on that to reach the melee height I needed. But before walking all the way back, I thought, maybe if I push this Marine in there, he'll do something. And for the first time ever, one of my stupid ideas in a playthrough actually worked. He started shooting the drones. He took one out. He took a second one out. There's only, 2 left. Went back to pushing him so we could take out the rest. 1 left, and then I don't know where these 2 Marines on the left appeared, but they had grenades and were shooting, and the door underneath is open, so I got through the drone area without dying once, which very accomplished. Said hi to Sergeant Johnson. I don't even know what I'm doing here. I'm trying to do a serious playthrough. Here's my first attempt at this fun room with the Gravity Hammer Chieftain. I grabbed the grav lift, ran past everyone through it, and ran straight for the exit before realizing you need to kill the Chieftain for the exit to open up. I just stood in the regenerator, killed the Chieftain. I really didn't know what to do at this point. I hadn't planned this far ahead. This was my first attempt. I just threw my flare, very smart move. Didn't work against the brutes. Not sure how, and they died. And ironically, that is one of my better attempts, my very first one, because I died a lot of times here. We're gonna cut ahead past some of these deaths because it gets to an embarrassing number. Watch the counter in the top left. Yeah, you thought that was it, didn't you? Keep watching. Ha. So 77 deaths in, and I've tried every strategy I could think of for this area. Sorry about that. I tried rushing it with the grav lift, sitting back, letting them come to me, nothing was working. So at this point I was just attempting to run past everybody while still having the grav lift and killed the chieftain. Did not pick up his hammer and I got stuck behind the door here. So this guy came out to say hi, told him bye. And I didn't really know what to do. I knew there were a few brutes here looking at me. Managed to get one punch in. I got punched in return. And if this brute turned the corner, I was dead here. I was terrified. This is one of my best runs in a while. And they just left. I guess they had somewhere more important to be. I'm not really sure. So I took my time getting this gravity hammer, made sure there was no brutes waiting for me, again, I don't know why there wasn't, and I got a checkpoint and I was finally past this area. And here was my first attempt at the skip, which I have not done in a year or two. That's the best it's ever gone and will ever go again. I cannot believe I pulled that off first try. And so now we're in another challenging, pretty open area here. Here's my first attempt. I didn't really know what to do. I just figured I'm going to punch one brute and run for this obviously locked door, which took me way too long to realize. And so I kind of used this corner with the big rock as coverage and just rushed into this brute. That was an easy takeout, and I thought, hey, I'm going to try and take them out one by one. I was being a little overly cautious here, hoping the door would open and just going back and forth sightseeing. I got assassinated. That was brutal. Almost got hit with that trip mine, but don't worry, the needle got me in the face, or the spiker. I apologize for that. Eventually I realized that the brutes, if you wait kindly enough under this little area, they drop down one by one in a single file orderly line, so it became pretty easy to take them out. There was no real challenge in this area other than the trip mines I very obviously couldn't see in front of me. Nailed it. This clip kind of showcases that strategy better from the beginning. I attempt a gravity hammer jump onto the pelican, did not pull it off. And in this beginning area, if you just rush the brutes, knock off their shields, they'll get aggressive and start running around, and you can focus your attention on the other brute and take them out one by one that way. And then eventually they start dropping down. Usually I wait by that forklift and then you can just punch them in the back, but I guess I was already depressed from my gravity hammer attempt that I didn't really care. I don't know why I gravity hammered that one with a full shield and that one. I was just going crazy here. And one of them decided to start shooting me, or the Banshee did, I'm not really sure. Because this one has a carbine and that's not what hit me. And there's only, based on the radar, 2 brutes left. Punch this one on the back, easy. This one starts spinning, make it a little bit more complicated, but that was it. Then the door opened. And I was really panicked here because I knew if I made it past this door, I had a checkpoint. And if I would have just ran past them, it would have been fine, but I didn't do that. This time I didn't melee any of them except for the barrel in front of them, which backfired heavily on me. But at this point, I knew I had a pretty effective strategy, and that it was just a matter of time before I'd make it to the next checkpoint. So you can see here how aggressive I was at taking out those initial brutes, and actually waited in the area. I said I was going to wait for them to drop by. I mean, just incredibly slow. That one turned at the last second, so I didn't get the free melee, and at this point I thought I was about to have an early death. Everything was kind of falling apart, but luckily got this one before he jetpacked off again and managed to come back here before the next one came. And they were just falling down so quick, I took out my hammer. And the reason I took it out was to kind of catch up on the line of brutes falling. But while looking at that final one, I saw that the door opened. I'm not sure if it opens with 1 or 2 left, or I thought it was everyone dead, but I guess not. Again, I'm way too aggressive, but I do manage to take out those 2 brutes and have some celebratory melee hits as my checkpoint hits here. And here you'll see the pro MLG, HLG talent that I possess as I perfectly melee through that window and drop down. 1 brute's left. I mean, that was just an easy kill. And I saw the little allied pelican on my radar and knew that this area was done. And as I was going back up, I heard the doors open up and heard some drones. And then Sergeant Johnson yelled drones. I figured, hey, there's probably drones there. I decided the best strategy was to just let them fight the Marines and see who wins, and it turned out my Marines won, surprisingly. And the reason I went back up was to juggle the 2 invisibilities with the regenerator all the way to the next area, just to have it. I think it's really the only possible way I could envision myself getting past that Brute Chieftain with the Fuel Rod up ahead. Just rushed this grunt on the turret, killed him pretty easy, and went back just in case the door would close and leave my little camo and regenerator behind. Just used this door as cover, and the jackals started backing up, so I threw a cloak in their direction, which they didn't really appreciate. Decided to use this fuel truck thing as cover, take out my hammer and see if I could take out all 3 jackals in one hit. Nope, I got one and got rid of my cover, which caused me to panic and lose my shield and get killed by the turret at the end of the hallway. After a few attempts, I managed to clear out most of the enemies and finally get my equipment down at the bottom of this hallway here. Threw my regenerator, picked up the cloaking, activated it, and this is where I realized I can't pick up the second cloaking while actively cloaked. For a moment there, I thought, wow, I just spent all this time juggling everything down the hallway for nothing, but I got past all the enemies here. No one saw me, made it through the hallway, and I was 1v30 against a room full of grunts, brutes, and a fuel rod chieftain. No shield, no problem. Or so I thought. And you know what the best part is? Didn't get a checkpoint. I didn't learn any lessons, so I once again grabbed the cloak and ran past everybody. What else is there to say other than the cloak did its job? I had full shield going into this hallway, and because I had full shield it gave me a checkpoint. I decided, hey, let's see what can happen. I'm going to just run in here and activate that bomb. No one will notice me. Almost made it. That was pretty good, I gotta say. With having a checkpoint right outside the door, I decided to go again. Got fuel rodded. I did press the button, but it meant nothing. But I knew there was no way I could make the run back. So instead of trying the chieftain room again, I went backwards and decided to clear out the enemies one by one, make my way all the way back to the beginning of the hallway where I'd carried my cloak and regenerator, grab that extra cloak I left behind, and take it back to run past the chieftain. But it proved a lot harder to kill all the grunts, sniper jackals, and remain. I don't know if there's any brutes left, but if there are, kill them as well. 98 deaths in, I had a severe flashback episode when going up the ramp here as I got sniped, just like I did in Sierra 117 for 3 hours straight. This was my basic strategy of clearing up this area, was to gravity hammer the first grunt on the turret, destroying the turret in the process, running around the back, taking out the second one, and from that point on you only had to kind of take cover when your shield was low and take out the grunts one by one. Every once in a while, if you were lucky, you'd have 1 or 2 grunts run around scared like this after you killed some of their buddies, and then all I had to do was focus on the snipers at the top of this ramp here and get them without them sniping me. I got lucky on that jump not to get killed by whatever shot me, but to also gravity hammer one of the snipers up there. And I zigzagged. I mean, that was a pro move right there. And I got rid of both the snipers up top, so now I just had to slowly make my way back down. This is another example of a room I haven't really explored. I just went in there because I'd never been in there before. Rushed the jackals with shields while using the boxes as cover. Gravity hammered both of them in one go. And the turrets can't actually turn around, so the grunts have to hop off and face you, making it a lot easier to take them out. And all that hard work gets quickly undone by one plasma grenade. Such a shame. Just wanted to show you death 100, really, for this one. One more death later, I managed to clear out all the enemies, the snipers, and I just had this group of grunts in front of me to take out. That was one of the coolest things I've ever done in Halo. So I went back to the beginning of the hallway, grabbed the cloak I left behind, made my way over to where the fuel rod chieftain area is, and did not receive a checkpoint. So I went into this room, turned on my cloak, immediately lost all my shield, and I was like, oh no, I'm going to have to go back and do this all over again. But turned off the bomb, juked out a brute, jumped below. I had full shield. I had pretty good odds at this point. That flare blinded me even though I was a floor under it. What can you do? Triple kill on those grunts. The end of the level was in sight. I knew that with a little bit of luck I could probably make it to the end without dying if I just took it slow and smart. I do not know why all the grunts turned around here. I could have sworn that they run crazy the whole time, but they gave me a Killtacular and then started running around. I guess one or two of them kept shooting at me, but luckily none of the drones did, so I was able to get past everything pretty easily. Entering in the final area of this level, I mean, that's two levels basically complete. Once Cortana stops talking on the melee-only legendary playthrough, that's 2 more levels than I honestly thought I could get done. The next level is Tsavo Highway. That one has vehicles, so the rule I'm setting for myself regarding vehicles is as long as it's a splatter, it counts, and I can't have any AI in my vehicle assisting me, because then I could just camp the vehicle somewhere on a hill and let them turret everybody to death, and I don't think that should count for a melee-only playthrough. If anyone has a problem with those rules, I mean, leave a comment and tell me what you think the rules actually should be, but here we are. Crow's Nest is officially complete. We're going to wait for the stats to load here at the end, see how many kills I actually got. I'll just let it play out for you guys, but thanks for watching. Tsavo Highway will be up in, I can't really say. Surprise.
This place will become your tomb.